been so long since we heard that beautiful music. It's still great. Max Casella, you're still the man. You're still the best. Still love you the most. So, yes, I gotta fix my camera.
I'm looking at my sweatshirt here and it's covered with cat hair. Oh, that's hilarious.
How do I tell you I'm a cat owner without telling you I'm a cat owner? I'm like, you come to my house and, cat hair's a condiment. Let's go. Ew. That's gross. Ugh. So, Ann Brothers, look at us. Back on saying, we have a special guest with us too. I have Marla the cat sitting down here meowing and headbutting my leg because I'm not petting her enough. I know, kitten, you're the most beautiful princess in all, and you have the kindest soul of any kitten in all of Kalamazoo County. My cats have excellent self-esteem. So
exactly. Oh, so do mine. Unwarranted and unearned confidence. They should teach a class.
They should totally, they should get a TED Talk.
Oh my gosh, Jenny! I have lots of opinions about TED Talk, so we should talk about.
I would like to hear all of your opinions. All I know is I'd like to have a TED Talk so I can get a cool suit because I'm like, the people that give the TED Talks always have the greatest clothes and like the coolest suit. It's so fashionable and so like I've got the softest shoes and that sort of thing. So
yeah, I was like, did you all of you go to the same speech instructor so you could learn how to talk in front of a large group? I have so many opinions about TED Talk.
I think it's Al Gore's fault. This is his fault because if you watch Inconvenient Truth, it literally is like the longest TED Talk ever.
It totally is. It's the longest, PowerPoint presentation ever. And then on top of it, it's a freaking TED Talk. So
it's got it all.
I have strong opinions about TED Talks and self-help books. Someday we should have a podcast about that.
I think we should absolutely do that because I'm a sucker for a good self-help book that doesn't help me at all. So
exactly. And I love to rant about self-help books that are only there to help the author make lots of money.
Tell me you're a brothers without telling me you're a brothers. You love self-help books.
I was gonna say, that's so true. My Aunt Julie, man, she loved a self-help book. Oh man,
she read them all. She read them all times 100.
Every single one of them. Yes, she loved a self-help book, and she loved an MLM. God bless her.
I would like to say that I'm not completely MLM'd, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loved those. She loved those a million. So,
yeah. Anyway.
So hey, we're back. We took a 4-week sabbatical because sometimes you just need a break. So that's what we did. So we did lots of stuff and things, and I would love to say that you did some really cool stuff. I did less cool but very productive stuff. So it's not like I didn't do stuff. It's just I did stuff I didn't really want to do but kind of had to do. So
yeah, I understand that. I understand that completely.
So there's that. So, and we'll talk more about that as we get going. But we're back. It is beautiful day. We've had some weird weather.
Mm-hmm.
It was straight summer this week. We over in this neck of the woods, we were in the mid to high 80s. The humidity, the high dew points. Yeah, we had it all. And then we had just a rocking time Thursday night when these storms came through. And I got to tell you, those storms were badass. Really badass. We had a lot of really bad weather, and it wasn't just Michigan. It was basically all of the upper Midwest. Wisconsin got crushed, we got crushed, Indiana got crushed, Ohio got crushed. Kentucky. Ooh, that tornado that went through Kentucky was on the ground for 500 miles, and it did some damage, and really, really incredible. And so we I think there are Michigan Storm Chasers was saying that they've got 9 confirmed tornadoes from Thursday night storms, and probably more on the way. The strengths of those tornadoes have been hovering around EF0, EF1, which is nothing to sneeze at. Those are 80-mile an hour, 80+ mile an hour winds. So it was rocking. We went to the basement Wednesday or Thursday night because it was one of those things where the storms came through. That gust front when it comes through is usually, pretty rocking, and then it calms down, and then you just have storms. So the gust front came through, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're done. And then it really got cranking. So on the back end of that, and then that's when you get nervous because that's where your tornadoes are, on the back end of a storm. So we had this big gust front with lots of rain, thunder, lightning, and lots of wind, and then it calmed down, and you're like, okay, I guess I can go to bed. And so I'm brushing my teeth and looking outside, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. It's getting windy again. I got done brush my teeth, and I'm like, it's getting windier. And so then I opened the front door, and I was like, fuck me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Joe, get up, we gotta go to the basement. So, and Betty, it was so funny because Betty came down there with us, and Joe scooped her up, and then she would not get out of his arms. She would not leave. And then
Oh,
this is the saddest part of all. Marla wouldn't come downstairs with us, but then when we came back up, there was a little pile of poop in the bedroom. She pooped herself.
she was so
Darn.
scared. Poor kids.
I'm like,
Oh,
so yeah, this was a poop inducing storm for Marla the cat because Marla doesn't like when she gets scared, she goes and hides, and so she was hiding under the desk, and then she pooped herself.
poor Kate. My cats were like,
Sad.
"What? There's a storm? Huh?" Oh, so funny.
So yeah, so that was a like I said a pretty rocking. But today it's nice, it's cool. It was, we were back down and we're kind of having a spring this year. It's nice.
Yeah, it was very Duncan and I went for a walk this morning and it felt like we were up north. And that's the thing. If you're in Michigan and you're like, oh, it feels like up north weather, it just means it's cool and breezy but sunny.
Hmm.
And it's campfire, camping, sleeping with the blankies. Anyway, so yeah, it was up north weather this morning, and this is like you said, it was super warm last week, and now like we're back into spring, and it's kind of weird. So, oh,
Hmm.
and the other thing I was thinking about with the tornadoes, I'm like, you think, okay, well, we're just having like these small tornadoes, these F1s, F0s. I'm like, but this is May in Michigan. We don't usually, it could still be snowing here. So the fact that we're getting tornadoes that's a little freaky. I'm like, it's not even summer yet, people.
Well, and the freaky part is that we already had 24 tornadoes.
Mm-hmm.
So 25 actually, I think. I think they confirmed the 25th today. And I don't think we even had that many all of last year. So
I don't think we
we've
did
been
either.
off to a flying start as far as the weather. And like, I'm like it's just like it's weird. It's been interesting to live through these climate changes that
Mhm.
were yes, that's right. We are not climate deniers here at the Brothers Sisters. We believe in data and you can say what you want, but the climate is in fact getting warmer. So,
Mhm.
you know, if you don't agree, find another podcast. Okay, good.
I think there's a flat Earth one around the corner that you can join.
Fantastic. Go ahead and watch those.
Yeah.
So anyway, anyway, so here we are. So yeah. So we wanted to just kind of catch everybody up with what we have done. And so Ann and I each picked three things that we have done over the last 4 weeks to catch you up and get us going as we enter the summer season for the Brother Sisters. So yeah, nice. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up so that everybody can see it. Look, I chose this color of green because this color is the color of May. May is
Mhm.
my favorite color. That green, everything just looks great. The lilac is out. That springy bright green as the leaves first pop. You get to enjoy it for just a couple of minutes. So yay for that. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Marcus. Marcus Vieta.
Oh,
Dude, you're like 34, 35. How old are you now?
damn.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
millennials are getting old.
I know. Aging millennials. So
Mhm.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought my 30s were a lot of fun. So there
I
you
had a
go. All
blast in
right.
my 30s. And just so you know that pain that you're feeling, it's never going to go away.
No, exactly. It will only get worse and spread to other parts of your body.
Exactly. You can't just run it off anymore. It's permanent.
It is. It is. So, all right. Well, Ann Brothers, why don't you take everybody through our big welcome?
Okay,
There you
I will.
go.
So,
Right on.
welcome or welcome back. In fact, welcome back to us. We are Anne and Janice Brothers. We are sisters, and our last name
Mm-hmm.
is Brothers. And we
Mm.
missed you guys so much.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
We did. That's why we came back.
exactly. We're in our 50s, Generation X, which means that we are the flexible generation. We are more open to change because nothing was going to change for us. So,
I was told that we are dangerous, we're dangerous in a way. It was the other day. We are dangerous in a way that the baby boomers could never be because we know how to turn a document into a PDF. So,
see, flexibility. We have
yes,
flexibility. Yes, nothing
correct.
was
Hmm?
everything around us was changing. Nobody was going to stop and coddle us while the change happened. So we better be flexible. It's not like we're happy to be flexible. In fact, it's made us more bitter and sarcastic, but we are very flexible.
Yeah, and that was with the crux of the article was that there was this Gen Zer that was trying to do what the millennials were doing to um the baby boomers with the, whatever boomer thing, and they're like, "No, no, don't do that. Don't do that."
The Gen Xers are mean. They'll make you cry.
They will, yeah, so I don't think I'm mean, but I certainly, I certainly am, not easily phased by things, I guess. I don't know.
I might be, but I
Whatever.
still do it anyway because who's gonna,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you can cry about
Sure.
it, but nobody's gonna help you. So get going.
While you're crying, get this done.
Exactly. Get going. So anyway, let's see. We like to talk about smart stuff, dumb stuff, fun stuff, or any combination of the three. We are not cool, hip, or sexy, and we know this because we wear warm clothes to bed. Also, the brothers sisters do not go to bed naked. Mike and Cynthia brothers would never allow their children to sleep in the buff. That would be inappropriate. So we always wear super warm clothes, never naked. So that makes us not cool, not hip, not sexy.
So not sexy. I can't even imagine going to bed naked.
I
Ugh.
can't
I'd
either.
be so
I'm like,
exposed. I'm like, what
exactly,
happens if you have to get up in the middle of the night because of a tornado? I'd be
exactly,
naked then.
exactly, not happening. Anyway, we're
No.
not a true
I
crime
have a confession.
celebrity. Yes, Jenny.
When I know it's going to be stormy, I set out and I'm going to bed. I set out all my clothes right next to bed, including my shoes, with my socks right next to my shoes, that I can get everything on quickly. So,
See, not cool or hip or sexy, Jenny brothers.
I know.
Okay, so we're not a true crime celebrity or influencer podcast. We have a podcast because we like to talk and we make each other laugh, and hopefully, we will make you laugh too.
That's right. This podcast was born during COVID when we needed to be able to talk to each other. So there
Mhm.
you go.
There you go.
Yes. Yep.
We've been told we're good to listen to when you want to learn things about stuff and you want to avoid talking to anyone directly, but you still need some human contact. That's
Yes.
what we can do
There
for
you
you.
go.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
This podcast is not G, PG, or even PG-13, and we're going to talk about all the fucking stuff that we've been doing for the last 4 weeks. There you go.
The last 4 fucking weeks, Ann Brothers.
The last 4 fucking weeks. Join us on our website, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. You can like us, follow us, hit that bell, and leave us a review. A nice review, please, or a bad review. You can leave us a bad review if you want, but we're not going to read that one. Give us
Oh.
your feedback with our questions and answers and our polls, and you can ask Alexis, old or new, to play us, and she will do it.
I noticed that you added a Stretch Armstrong. I like the fact that that ties into our flexibility, but that was also one of the toys of our past was the Stretch Armstrong.
Hmm.
I'm like, I wonder how much goo was expelled from Stretch Armstrongs as children stabbed Stretch in order to see what was in there.
So much goo, Jenny Brothers. We have been
Yeah.
exposed to so much, you know, goo, industrial goo that would be unthinkable to expose children to nowadays,
Yeah.
especially in toys. Especially in
Oh,
toys.
for sure. Do you
Mhm.
remember that Night Live commercial from years ago with Happy Fun Ball?
It's happy. It's fun. Don't tease Happy Fun Ball.
Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you YouTube Happy Fun Ball. It's basically starts with these kids. They're like, "It's happy, it's fun, it's Happy Fun Ball," and that's pretty much the commercial. And then the next minute and a half is just disclaimers about all the things, all the dangers of Happy Fun Ball. It's hysterical.
Mhm.
And like that's one of the last things. It's like, do not tempt Happy Fun Ball. It is. It's like Happy Fun Ball was made from a glowing substance that fell from outer space. It's all of these things. It really is. And that's pretty much all toys from the 70s and 80s.
Mhm. Exactly. It's like, we don't know what this is, but
Mhm.
kids will love it.
Exactly. I'm like, this is a stabbing and choking hazard. So enjoy.
Enjoy. Don't put it in your mouth,
Okay.
stupid. Oh,
Yeah. Yes, that's right. You can support us, like us on the Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Smash that button, y'all. Because apparently that's what you're supposed to say. Smash it, stomp it. Um, our podcast slaps, so slap it.
yes, slapping. Good job.
That's right. Yes, indeed. Right on. All right, so let's talk about the smart, dumb, and fun stuff that happened this week. And we're going to start with you.
All right. Well, my cousin Joe and his wife Della sent me the book Hume by Helen Phillips, and they know I like a dystopian novel. And this is a great. It takes place not too far in the future, but the Humes are the AI that's kind of now the human equivalent, you know. So they walk among us, and it's about a woman who and her family, and their interaction with Humes and their lives, and some of it is so close, Jenny, to what is going to happen in the next 20 years. Like everybody has a womb that they go into, and it's like your place where you can be safe, but you only get 8.5 minutes of free womb time unless you have a subscription, and then they bombard you with ads. And the Humes are there to do like pretty much all the work of humans. So a lot of humans are losing their jobs. And not only are they doing the work of humans, but they're trying to constantly sell things to you as you work with them. It's like I said, Jenny, we're this close. It's this freaking close, and it is a very dark comedy. There are some times where I was laughing out loud, and then there were times I'm like, this is fucked up. And it's fucked up because it's so close. I'm like, we're literally 15 years away from this sort of thing. So anyway, Joe and Della, thank you very much for this book. It's a quick read. It's just over 200 pages. Most of the chapters are
Ooh.
no more than like a page and a half to 3 pages. So you just fly through it. It was extremely well written. The woman, the author, Helen Phillips, is like a professor of literature. So, she knows what she's doing. Excellent book. It will make you laugh and will make you depressed. So if you like a good dystopian novel,
Hmm?
that's so close to the future, your future is now, then there you go. So, the funny thing is, like, in this book, the Humes seem very empathetic and helpful. And Joe was like, it's so weird that they're like this, and will they be more empathetic than humans? I'm like, no, we won't be able to make AI like this. Our AI will be neurotic and anxious, just like we are, because that's who ends up writing, that's who creates AI. We do, and we'll make it crazy as we are. So,
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
mhm,
that tracks. That
mhm,
tracks indeed. So that sounds like a good one. All right, cool.
yeah.
Nice.
So, Jenny, what did
Good
you
job,
do?
Joe and Della. Joe and Della. Well done.
Hmm.
Well done. All right. So for me, mine was kind of just fun. Ava French, happy birthday. I got to go to a 7-year-old's birthday yesterday. That was Ava. Happy birthday, kiddo. And congratulations on your 2 goals in soccer. Um, she's getting 2 hamsters out of that. Well, she's at least getting 1 hamster, maybe 2.
Hmm.
So nicely
It's
done.
like two
Uh,
goals, two hamsters.
axolotl themed birthday.
Mm.
So pretty much awesome.
Hmm.
Pretty much awesome. So yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's awesome. Congratulations, Ava. You did great. And I hope that hamster works out for you.
I hope so
So
too. Yeah,
there you
hamsters are
go.
mean. Hamsters are not a great pet for 7-year-olds because they are mean and they're nocturnal. And so while you're trying to sleep, they're awake, and while you want them to be awake and fun, they're sound asleep. So my recommendation is guinea pig or rat. And you may be like, why would you give a kid a rat? Rats are smart, they're diurnal, they like to hang out with you, and they only live about 2 years. So there you go.
Nice. There you go. Added a super special gift there.
Mhm.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
loved those
Okay, good.
hamsters. I was going to buy that. I wanted to buy that car that those hamsters were advertising for, just because I loved the hamsters. I can't remember the car, but I loved those hamsters.
It was some sort of Kia,
Some sort
but
of,
I
yeah,
don't.
exactly. I have
Yeah.
no idea which
Yeah.
one, but it was some sort of. It was the aughts. What did we know? Hamsters.
Nothing.
That hamster's
Nothing.
dancing. Yes, I'll buy your car. Oh, such innocent
Nice.
times.
Uh, remember? No. Okay,
No.
good. Good talk. No, I do not. All right. So, like we said, we were going to cover and talk about 3 things that we did over the last 4 weeks while we were on our mini sabbatical. I'll go ahead and start for this one. So, because I'm dumb, I'm training for a marathon, and I got to tell you, my training is not going well.
Come on, Jenny.
Yeah, well,
Feel it. What makes
I
the
am
grass
killing it.
grow? Blood makes the grass grow. Rah, rah,
What
rah.
makes the what's that from?
I don't know. I'm just saying it because I thought it was funny.
I feel like that's from Game of Thrones, but that's I don't know. So or maybe I'm going. Who rules the North? We do. I think that's what it is. But no,
Ah,
actually, I like that one better. So yeah. So anyway, the Detroit Marathon is the third week in October. I am training for it. We'll see if I get there. Stay tuned. So
mhm.
I did a 5K. So we'll talk. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So
And you
we're
didn't come in
getting
last
there.
place. So
I did
I think
not.
you're
I finished solidly in the middle.
see?
So
That's way
yeah,
better than I would do.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's this whole trying to train for something at the same time while you're going through menopause, which I got to tell you sucks so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually like to do an episode just talking about what this is, the whole menopause thing. I don't know if people
Mhm.
want to hear about that or not, but it's fascinating and people should know about it,
Yeah,
because no one really
exactly.
talks about it. They're like, you're going to do this thing someday.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be fast. It's gonna take decades. I've been in
Hmm.
perimenopause since I was 47. I'm 55 now.
Holy shit.
Nope, no shit, Jenny Brothers. No shit. In fact, one of the little girls I work with who's like 21, she's like, "Does your period get better when you get older?" I'm like, "No, it gets weirder. It gets weirder and weirder and weirder." Does it get better?
Better.
Yeah. Yeah, since I was 47,
No.
55. How why am I 55 and still fertile? Why? That's
I don't know,
craziness.
Anne. I do not know. That is absolute
No
craziness.
55-year-old
Like,
person should be fertile, male or
no,
female. Nobody in their
no.
50s should be able to
Just
conceive anything.
shut that door.
Oh, shut it down. Shut it down.
Shut it down. Yeah, so
Anyway,
that's what I'm training for. And like I said, I actually have a little an episode planned about A, marathon training, and B, marathon training when you're carrying your menopause weight, and C, dealing with menopause while you're trying to train for your marathon. And it's and Saucony, why did you change your shoes? Sorry, that's another Ann. But anyway, so Ann, all right. So that's
uh-huh.
my number one. I've been going through this training. It's coming along. I had to take a little step back because I had a little calf injury, but that seems to be abating, and I'm on to the next thing. So, Ann Brothers, what you got?
Well, I went to Scotland. My husband,
Nice.
Duncan, we went with my brother-in-law John and his wife Liz, who we are very good friends with. So the four of us went to Scotland. None of us had been to Scotland before. I could spend the next three shows talking about my trip to Scotland, but I will not bore you. I will just say that it is a beautiful, beautiful place. And if you want to travel abroad, it's a great place to start because, especially if you're American, they were lovely, lovely people. There's a lot of everything is different yet familiar, so you're not worried about language differences. If you're renting a car, try to get an automatic. Mhm. And remember that you drive on the left. So, just a few, very few highlights. The sheep, man, there are sheep everywhere. And every place we went, I wanted to take one home with me. And our first Verbo that we stayed in, they had like a dozen sheep that were kind of pets. And so we met, his name was Littlefoot, but we called him Magnus. He was great. He would come up and yell at us for oats. And then I bought him oats and it was awesome. He has oats on his nose in this picture. It was amazing. Anyway, the sheep aren't particularly interested in you, but Magnus was interested in us, and it was a great way to start. But there are rolling hills and sheep everywhere. It's so cool. The scones, man, you might say to yourself, "Oh, scones are disgusting." Get them in Scotland. You will never be. I had them every day. They were so delicious. I even snuck one on the plane on the way home. I was like, "Yeah,
Oh, undeclared scone.
just colored scone." They were so delicious. Oh, I loved them. Isle of Skye. If you're going to go to Scotland, spend a couple days on the Isle of Skye. It's an island off of the west coast. It's very close to the mainland. You can take a bridge to it. It's so freaking beautiful. And the whole country is beautiful. So, this place is even better. Yeah, so that was I got the most beautiful sweater there. I wore it last night, Jenny, because it was cool, and people complimented my sweater. Every time I go someplace, people compliment this sweater that I
It's
bought
the
in.
best sweater I've ever seen. It's
It's
the
beautiful,
best sweater ever.
ever,
Ever.
ever. So another
Yeah, it's
place I would
tight.
suggest you visit is Pannon, and I'm not sure that this place really exists more than like once a year or once every 500 years. We just happen to be. It's like North Sea, about 40 buildings, and then a cliff, and then that's oh man, It's a beautiful place. The film Local Hero was filmed, and part of this film was filmed there in 1983, which is a surprisingly good movie. We went. Johnny, my brother-in-law, really wanted to go to this place, and it was spectacular. Before we went, we hung out on the cliffs above town. We laid on our stomachs and watched gannets, which are kind of these seabirds, fly in and out on the cliffs because they were all hanging out on the cliffs nesting. So it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And then, of course, my main thing that I wanted to see in Scotland was the puffins. I saw hundreds of puffins, people, hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of puffins, and that was in the on the Isle of May in the Firth of Forth, outside, almost at the very edge of the between the bay, kind of between the bay and the actual, North Atlantic. So, oh my God, that was so amazing. Puffins are amazing. So, yeah, I could talk about Scotland for. Oh, another thing, may I suggest, if you're a traveler of any kind, that you create yourself a travel journal and put all their stuff in your travel journal so you can go back and like amaze yourself with all the cool things. Oh, here. So you find sheep wool on fences everywhere because they're like rub against the fences, and so I collected some. And one of the things I did with my, where did I put? I'll find it, people. I promise. Oh, there he is. See, that's what I did. I collected wool and I made myself a sheep in my journal. So see, there you go.
Nice.
So highly recommend that if you are any sort of traveler, and you don't have to be a good writer or anything, just write some stuff down, because one, it helps you remember things, and two, it really solidifies your experience. I mean, it's one thing to like take a bunch of pictures, but it's another thing to like sit and really think about it and digest it, and what
Put those
little
pictures into
things.
context. Yeah.
Exactly, put the
Yeah.
pictures into context, and like the little things, like like scones. It's like just the little things. What little things really touched you and moved you, and
So, Ann Brothers, what was it about the scones that was so amazing?
okay, one, every place, like here in the United States, in order to get good pastry, you have to go to a bakery, and the bakeries are few and far between. But in Scotland, every place that's a bakery, a coffee house, a restaurant, they all make their own pastry. There's somebody, usually a woman, in the back making 4 or 5 different types of cakes, scones. They love bar cookies there, like pan cookies. That's a thing there. Like every place you
Bars,
go to
as
has
you
like.
would say in Minnesota. Oh, I brought some bars. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. They all have like 7 different kinds. And so everybody has scones. And so they're light and fluffy, and then they cut them in half. They put clotted cream on both sides, load it with jam, put it back together, wrap it up in wax paper for you, and hand it to you. And you're just like, jam. So freaking
I
amazing.
want to go to there.
Yeah, and we don't have anything like that here. And they call them biscuits there, but the cookies, just you go into a gas station, there's 50 different types of shortbread cookies in a gas station. And I was like, finally, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to pick whatever box appeals to me, because it didn't matter what was in the box. They were fucking delicious in a gas station.
And can you tell me about the gas stations again, please?
Oh my gosh, the gas stations are amazing. The bathrooms were clean. They were like mini grocery stores. Like I said, 50 different kinds of cookies. They're just uh, 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 it wasn't disgusting, and everything was delicious. And I was like, this, are you kidding me? Why are we putting up with Speedway? Duncan went into a Speedway to use the bathroom, and they had directions on how to lift up the lid and flush it through the tank, because you couldn't flush the like, what the fuck is wrong with us as a country? Sorry.
Say for the record that I believe, as far as gas stations go, Speedway is one of the fucking worst. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Especially after you've lived in Wisconsin, where they have Quick Trip, which is amazing.
And Jenny, every gas station was like Quick Trip. Yeah.
I'm glad.
It's like, it was, people seemed happy to be there, like to work there even. It was amazing. Oh, and when you get takeout, they don't call it takeout. They call it
Takeaway.
takeaway. Yeah, takeaway.
Yeah.
So that was like, and yeah, it was just like, so yeah, Scotland's a great place. I could talk about it forever. And I'm not exaggerating when I say every day I thought was the best day until the next day, and then that was the best day.
Nice.
And that I am easily amused. And so there was so much to amuse me and amaze me. I never got tired of looking at rolling hills of sheep. Never got tired of rolling green hills and of sheep, and it's just, and then you forget, like, Scotland's surrounded by water. So there's a lot of seafood there. People,
But it's good too.
it was delicious. We were with great people. We stayed in a lot of beautiful places. I can't recommend it enough. Yeah, and we went during slightly the
Scotland.
off season, just before the start of the summer season, which was a good time to go. We had some rainy weather to begin with, and then we had really nice weather. And the people of Scotland kept saying, "Don't tell people that the weather is nice here because this is unusual." We got some great weather. We had some,
Mhm.
yeah. Good job, Scotland. Thank you.
Scotland. Good job. I
Yeah.
love it.
Hmm.
Hooray.
Yeah. So
All
that's
right.
what. Mhm.
We both had the same number too.
There we go. So this is the fourth year that Jenny and I have done the Run for the Trees. The 5K. Bob Vila, not Bob Vila. I'm sorry.
Ross. Sorry, my
Bob
cat just
Ross.
bit me. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's I know they do it other places besides Michigan, but the DNR usually runs it. The cool thing about this is that there's not a specific place to do this. You have like 8 days. You decide where you're going to do your 5K. You can report your results if you want. Jenny and I never report our results. We just make it a good reason to go for the walk in the woods, and that's basically what we do. We get a T-shirt. They send you a medal. They send you a number. They send you all the fun stuff. It's hilarious. And every year we pick a good place to go and we just go for a nice walk in the woods. And that's the point. So that was lovely.
This year we this year we went to the Calhaven Trail, which was lovely.
Yeah. And we did it the day after I got back from Scotland. So I was still slightly jet lagged. And I was like, but it just felt good to be outside after, a day on a plane. It felt really good to be outside. And when we came back to Michigan, it was like spring hit. When we left, it was still kind of wintry. And when we got back, it was full on spring. So that was a great thing too, was experience like, oh, I'm in the woods. It's spring. When I left, there was no leaves. Now there's tiny little leaves everywhere. So
So you guys had like the the seasonal equivalent of when you are at a restaurant and you get up to go use the restroom, and then when you get back, your food's there. So
yeah.
you guys had like the seasonal equivalent to that. Like when we left, it was winter, but then when we came back, our food was here, and the name of in it was spring.
It was free. Yeah, exactly. So that was
Hmm.
that was cool. Hmm.
I love that. So, yeah, it was good. It was a great walk. It's nice because they usually have cool t-shirts. Would you stop biting? My cat Marla is with me. She is just, you know what it is? It's 5:30, which means it's her dinner time, and she's like,
Mm.
"I will give you no peace until you feed me." I know, princess. I know, kitten. So, yeah, it never gets old. It's been fun because we've gone to different places and done different things, and we should um we should go up north next year when we do it.
Oh, I think
So,
that's a great idea. We could go up to,
I
yeah.
know, right?
Oh, I
So
think that's
either that or we should just do it over at Kensington Metro Park because that's a great Metro Park.
Oh, let's do that. Let's go to
Okay.
Kensington, Jenny. Yes,
Okay.
definitely. And then
Okay.
we can go
Good.
to Crust.
Yay.
You say things that are smart.
You say things that are smart and they involve bakeries, which I like. All
Mhm.
right. Number three. Anne, you want to take the lead on this one, or do you want me to take the lead on this
You
one?
go ahead. You go ahead. I talked a ton about Scotland, so you go ahead.
Okay, so for me, my third thing that I did was in my training, I have different scales. So this May was my 5K, June is my 10K, and so we did the Ziegler 5K, which was great. We got Annalise Wolf, who I work with. She was doing it too, so we did it together, which was great because Annalise set the pace for us, which was good because I slow. Joe decided he wanted to jump in, so last minute he signed himself up and did a great job as well. And it was a perfect day to run. The weather was cool and kind of cloudy, and it was nice. And it was just it's a fun event because they do it all 5, 10, half marathon and marathon. So it's a huge event. It takes place right downtown. So we literally walked to the start line, which was fantastic because you don't have to worry about parking because there's a ton of people. And then it's a great little course. It's really simple. The 5K course essentially takes you through downtown, then into the Vine neighborhood, then around the Vine neighborhood, and then back to downtown. So there's a couple of hills in there, but it's not too bad. So it was really nice. You get bananas and chocolate milk afterwards, which is great.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, just a really great event. They do a really wonderful job. There's tons of volunteers. And I highly recommend it if you're looking for a 5K to do. That's a good one. The only thing is, it's full of people. There's at no point during that 5K where you're not with 100 other people. So which could be good because then if something goes wrong, there's lots of support there for you if you need it. So
And it's hard to
yeah,
get lost in that situation too, because you're like, I'm just part of the crowd, and the crowd is
following the crowd.
all behind me and all in front of me, so I can't get lost.
It's awesome.
Hmm.
So yeah. So anyway, that was my third thing that I did.
That's good. You're running all over the place, Jenny. I don't know. It seems like you're on track to me. You've already run way more than I have. So good job.
Thanks.
All right. So my third thing was watching and listening to our friend Chip Maley, who is our crack entertainment expert, in his
Hmm.
radio production for the All Ears Theater, which is a little theater group in Kalamazoo, and they put on little radio. Plays. And so he was one of the characters in the radio play about drones. Jenny and I learned a lot about drones, specifically
Lot.
one type of drone. But anyway, so it was fun. It was so cool to see Chip performing.
Hexaplex.
And then we went out and had sushi. So that was fun. It was the theater they use is an old church, so it's a very lovely venue right downtown. So we could walk just right from Jenny's house, and then we walked to sushi. Beforehand we stopped at Dabney and Company and got cocktails. So we had walked to cocktails, walked to a show, walked to a theater. Damn, Jenny, we were very cultural that day.
Oats culture.
Totes culture. So thanks, Chip. That was fun. And it was free. The cocktail, which is funny because the cocktail was like $18, but the theater show was free. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's a great thing. It was fun to go and hang out. There's a lot of
mhm,
really cool little things like that to do occasionally, which I think is awesome.
mhm,
And the truth is, there's probably something like this in your town as well if you just kind of dig around and find stuff. And it's so funny because they had us fill out a little form ahead of time, like how did you hear about this? I'm like our friend Chip, like how did you hear about this? I'm like this our friend Chip, So it was one of those things where you know if that's why it's fun to kind of get to know people and do things and do stuff because there's always little things to do like that in your town.
mhm.
And so get out there, dig around, see what you find.
You might find our friend Chip performing for you. So
That's right, and
you're
then you
welcome.
might know too. So
Mhm.
yay, hooray!
Yes.
So yeah, that was a really fun night, and it
Mhm.
was like it was so quick because the show was only about a half hour. So that was like, oh hey, I guess it's over. So all
Mhm.
right, let's go have sushi. So
And that was fun too.
it was
Mhm.
so. All right, so here's some other stuff that we did. Of course, I went to Chip's show as well. Went to Ava's birthday party. I did a bunch of house stuff. So my parents are moving in about 5 weeks, and so this last year has been basically readying for that. So there's been house stuff, and there's cleaning stuff, and there's stuff, and there's all kinds of people telling me that I'm insane. I'm like, don't do that, please. I don't do that. um, Please don't do that. Went to Ann's house for a bonfire. Joe and I crashed prom. We went to Art Hop. We survived Thursday storms. I spent all of my time when I'm not doing stuff entertaining my cats. So yeah,
Mhm.
managed some freshmen. Started watching The Pit. So we did some cool stuff like that. So yeah.
Very good.
Anyway,
Mhm.
yeah. So what
I
about
did.
you, Ann Brothers?
Oh, I did some journey bead stuff, and I started going back to my yoga studio. They have like I'm kind of like parsing it out, so I go at least once a week, and I'm so glad to go back. That felt so good. They did a journey bead volunteer appreciation night, so I went that. I made Duncan come with me, and then I showed him how to make a bead, and he was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And then we found a decent restaurant in Grass Lake, which is a little town near us. They have a great burger joint and a bar. Don't get me wrong. There's some good food there, but this is a cute restaurant called Mama's Mercantile and Restaurant. Oh, last night I had a green salad. I had verde and pork over verde, and I had pistachio cake. So all my food was green. It was great. And we hosted a bonfire, as Jenny said. That was fun. And it was just it's been a good 4 weeks. There's probably a few other things that I think I'm like, yes, I entertained my cats. We're in the process of finishing up The Last of Us hacks and, watching some John Oliver so we can laugh and be sad at the same time. That's always fun.
Indeed.
And
Yes.
I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale. This is the last season. Uh, yeah.
Sometimes series stay too long. They stay
Yeah,
too
and
long.
this one stayed too long.
Yeah.
They probably should have ended it at 5 seasons max. Now I think they're on the 6th or 7th, maybe. I don't know, 4 might
Mm.
have been better. Um, yeah, it's too
That's Anne's way of saying it sucks donkey balls.
Yeah, I'm not,
Yay!
I'm kind of like stuck. I'm like, here I am watching it because I want to see how it ends. But I know I'm just going to be disappointed with the ending because I'm like, oh, wow, you could have made this end in episode 3 of this season and you could have ended it 2 years ago, but you didn't because it was relevant and now it's lost its edge. We'll just say
Hmm,
that. So, yeah. So I'm kind of,
it
I
happens.
got,
It
I got,
happens to shows. Yeah.
I got Hulu so that we could finish watching it. So we got a month free Hulu. So I'm hoping to get it all done before the month is over so I can cancel Hulu because there's nothing. Oh my God, Jenny. I watched best film of 2025, Honora, Pointless. The film is pointless. Do not watch it because it is stupid and pointless. How
And
that movie
Brothers.
won best picture of the year, I do not know. Stupid and pointless.
All right, Anne Brothers' review of Honora, the Best Picture winner at the Oscars, and it just goes to show you, I oftentimes disagree with the Oscars. I don't know. I
Mhm,
don't really love award shows anyway. These self-congratulatory things where people are like, "It's such beautiful art," and I'm like, well, "That's fine. It's great." So
mhm.
yeah, I read some reviews of it, and it's like, it just doesn't sound like my cup of tea. So
No,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, you do not have to waste your time because I watched the whole thing thinking, and then I got to the end and I was like, wow, this was pointless and stupid. Pointless. And people are like, oh, well, it's very graphic. I'm like, of course it is. It's about a sex worker and her client. Of course it's graphic. And it's not even interesting graphic. Yeah, thanks.
Liz
Thanks,
Williams
Liz.
is with us. She wants to know how you really feel, Anne.
I thought it was that was the only thing I could come up with. It's completely pointless. It's a waste of time. It's not interesting. The characters aren't interesting. It's not well written unless you want to hear the word fuck said 1,000 different times.
If you
And you
want
can
that, you
listen
just
to
listen to
us for that.
us.
Exactly. It was just like so
Hmm?
like, oh, and then I read some reviews like, oh, the characters are so poignant and real. I'm like, no, they're not. Well, yeah, they're real, but that doesn't make it interesting.
What Oscar contender did I watched the movie Zone of Interest. That was the one that I watched,
Mhm,
the Oscar contender. How would I describe that movie? Dark. That movie was effing dark. For those of you
mhm,
that are unfamiliar with that movie, it basically follows the dude that was the commandant of Auschwitz, and he and his wife built this really lovely villa right next door to Auschwitz, which was one of the concentration camps in Poland during World War II. And it's just this really strange sort of slice of life. It's not there's nothing really that happens in it other than we just watch these people live their lives as they manage this death camp, and it is dark and weird. Yeah, I would say I'm glad I watched it. I didn't hate it, but I also um didn't love it either. So I just thought, and part of the reason you don't love it is because the content of it is just so terrible.
mhm.
So
Right.
yeah, it was interesting, and the fact that it was also normal for them, and oof, yeah, yeesh,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, it was tough. It was a tough watch. I would choose not to watch that one again. So
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I recommend Nora to no one. So there you
Okay,
go.
all right. Anne's review of Honora.
Mhm,
Yep. And yeah, but that was pretty much all the movie watching I did. When did I watch and actually watch it over a series of nights because I don't get a ton of TV time unless sometimes my cat will curl up next to me and then I call it kitty jail. I'm like, I can't possibly get up right now because I might disturb the cat, and then I watch more TV than I should. So.
no, I
Oh well.
understand that completely.
Yes. So all right. So you've gotten our crack reviews of what's happened over the last 4 weeks, including some
Mhm,
TV watching, some stuff, some traveling, other stuff. Yeah. So, anyway, so well done, you guys. I'm gonna add that to the stage. You
mhm.
have learned things about stuff. I don't even know if you really learned much this week, other than A, don't watch Nora,
Oh, and
and B,
also,
Scotland's a great.
Scotland's a great place, but the roads are super narrow. So if you go to Scotland, be prepared. Even their freeways are narrow, but at the same time, everybody's really nice on the roads too. So that's the other thing. But yeah, everything is, and like the back roads are super windy, very narrow, and sometimes they're over a cliff. So
Oh,
keep that in mind.
watch out for that.
Yeah. So
So pay
that's
attention.
Yeah, so pay
So
attention.
good job, John Williams, keeping everybody safe on those roads,
Yeah,
driving
no
a
kidding.
left-handed stick shift on the wrong side of the road. So
Yeah, if you can get an automatic. And I was like because I get car sick, so I had to sit in front. So I was like the navigator because there was so much going on. I was like, I was Sigourney Weaver in what's that movie? Is like, I'm repeating the computer, which was pretty much what I was doing, just so
Galaxy
John would
Quest,
like.
Galaxy Quest, yeah.
That's pretty much what I was doing. And also, John and I are not related to each other, so we wouldn't argue with each other. Like if Liz or there, or his younger brother was there, navigating. It gives you a reason to like yell at each other. Where John and I can't yell at each other because we don't have that sort of relationship. So it was kind of like, "Hello, coworker. How are you this morning? How is your family and our local sports team?" So it's just that's another thing I highly recommend. Have the two people in front who are not related to each other and are not going to start screaming at each other, even if they're about to die. So
Yeah, it's that whole polite thing. I'm like, we have a little bit of separation that forces
just
us into being polite to each other. We don't have that
exactly.
level of comfort that allows us to say mean things to each other.
Exactly. We did not. We were like, yes, we were very professional the entire time. Even we're like,
Well
Johnny,
done.
you need to slow down. There are sheep in the road.
Heidi, what's up? You haven't
Hi,
missed much,
Heidi.
Heidi. We've been off for 4 weeks, so we've just been getting everybody caught up with what we've been up to for the last 4 weeks. So there you go. And we were just kind of finishing up with other little things because we don't know that you really could do things about, we don't know if you learned anything this week, but that's okay.
Mhm.
All right, Liz Williams. Okay, good. So there you go. Liz Williams backseating, enjoying the snacking and the sightseeing. That's all
Yeah.
right. Well
They did keep
done.
us fed. It was like the car cheese. We always had a block of cheese in the car, and let me tell you, it was never refrigerated.
Working on some car cheese.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it was really good.
car
That's the thing.
cheese.
You could get like excellent cheese at gas stations, like, really like good local cheddar cheese at a gas station. So we were all like, hey, what about this cheese? I'm like, all right, let's try it. And we'd eat it for 2 days in the car. And like, did it ever make into a refrigerator? Sometimes.
Again, taking some chances, some cheese chances in
Some
Scotland.
cheese chances in Scotland. Yeah. So,
That's hilarious. I love
mhm,
that. I love that for you guys.
yeah.
Oops, hang on. I gotta go back to my comments.
Mhm.
All right, all right. So yeah, so you learned all just kind of this week. It was just kind of rando stuff about the last 4 weeks. So again, if you loved this podcast, make sure you like, follow, subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Smash that button. Blah blah blah. So uh, ooh, there you go. Heidi is saying, Elegant Antique Market next weekend if you want something to do. Ooh, antiques.
I was gonna say,
Anne's putting.
owl lamps. Do they have any owl lamps? Because I'm a form and function sort of gal.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, because they're
Possibly. Thanks for the pro tip, Heidi. That's awesome. So
yes,
I don't
thank
know,
you.
maybe. I don't know. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been in my garden at all, and it looks bad. So I
Yeah,
think I might spend next weekend just trying to manage the weeds in my front yard right now. So
there you go.
yay.
I did
Yeah.
mine in
Yeah.
my strawberry patch today. So
Heidi says yes, lots of 70s owls. Ooh, and those are the best ones.
those are the
That's
best
tempting.
ones. Oh, it is so. I love 70s owls. Yeah.
You can always crash Arian Brothers and go to the Elegant Antique Fair.
I, I,
So
I'm not. I'm not saying no. So
fair enough.
fair
Fair
enough.
enough. All right.
Mhm.
Cool. Right on. I love it. Join us next week when we bring you the news. That's right, you guys. We are bringing you the trashiest news we can find on Yahoo News and People Magazine and probably some TMZ because what we've decided is that the real news is kind of horrible right now, one way or the other. So we're going to bring you the trashiest news. For instance, we have been following the Karen Reed trial out of Boston, and if you need something to watch on HBO, because
Mhm.
what was it? Was it last weekend? We were
Yeah.
painting one of my bathrooms in the house, and we would take breaks and watch the Karen. It's called Body in the Snow, the Karen Reed story, and essentially what it is, it's this um, Karen Reed has been accused of killing her husband by backing
Boyfriend.
into him and
Boyfriend.
boyfriend, right, not husband, right, but backing into him with her SUV and leaving him to freeze to death in the snow. And so we become so they. I'm not going to tell you what happens. All I know is that HBO has like a 4 or 5 part series where you can watch it, and the trial is currently going on, and so we'll be talking about that for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It was Jenny and I have opinions. So
I have very strong opinions about
Me
that. But
too.
anyway, next
Too.
week's all about the trashy news that happens to be in the headlines. So stay tuned while we give you our take on the trash that is circulating the internet.
It
So
is too
yay.
stupid for real news.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, you guys, until that time, wait, I gotta turn the music on.
Oh
Media
yay.
assets, blah blah blah. There it is. Okay, good. There it is. That's right. That's right. Well done. Uh, anyway, just wanted to say thanks for joining us again. We're sorry we took such a long break, but sometimes these things happen.
You know what?
Anyway, what are you gonna do?
I know. I
So
don't know. We
you're
came
just gonna
back.
take some time off. We came back, and we're back in full swing. Anyway, until next week, where we talk about our trashy news. I am Janice Brothers, and with me is my sister.
And brothers.
That's right. We want you to get out there and do something smart, do something dumb, do something fun. We're out of here.